Welcome into College Football Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Baylor Football is looking for a new head coach because Matt Rhule is heading to the NFL. He has taken the Carolina Panthers job. Now, we'll get into 10 candidates Baylor will look at in just a moment, and trust me, there are plenty of good ones, Baylor fans, so don't freak out. Matt Rhule off to the NFL, and we knew this was a possibility, right? The way he turned around Baylor, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say he saved the Baylor football program in a lot of ways. $60 million over 7 years heading to Carolina. We all know what went down at Baylor at the end of the Art Briles era. Matt Rhule comes in 2017, a lot of rebuilding there, goes 1-11 his first year, goes bowling in his second year in Waco, and then this past year is literally one play away from the college football playoff. So he leaves Baylor in a very, very good place. Baylor will have a lot to work with, whoever their next head coach should be. So Matt Rhule to Carolina. Going to get into 10 candidates in just a second, but first, want to ask you guys this. Who should Baylor hire as their next head football coach? Let me know in the comments section. Might get hit with a YouTube ad break here. This will be the pinned comment. Just scroll down, answer this question. Who should be Baylor's next football coach? Scroll back up. The video will be back in play. Okay, at number 10, current defensive coordinator Phil Snow. Now, I thought about putting this guy higher because I know Baylor fans really like him. They like what he's done with that defense at Baylor, and they should. They have turned that defense completely around, one of the best defenses in college football this season. Here's the thing. Followed Matt Rhule to Baylor in 2017. He's 64 years old, and he's never been a head coach at any level. And guys, he's probably going to follow Matt Rhule to Carolina. They've been tied together for quite some time now. Now, I think Baylor should certainly have some interest. I don't know. Maybe Phil Snow doesn't want to be a head coach. Maybe that's why he's never been a head coach at 64 years old. I think there will at least be some level of a conversation, but that's why I have him down at number 10. I think most likely he's off to the Carolina Panthers to run their defense. What type of hire should Baylor make? Should they go external, get away from Matt Rhule's current staff, or should they make an internal hire, promote a guy like Phil Snow or someone else who's currently on staff? Hint, hint, we'll get to some other guys later on in the show. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Dave Aranda is the next guy on the list here, LSU's defensive coordinator since 2016. He's one of the best defensive minds in the country. I'm not sold on this fit, though. Look, I know he's got the South region ties. Do they want to hire a defensive-minded head coach? If they do, why not just try and keep Phil Snow, right? I mean, Dave Aranda, I think staying at LSU makes more sense, and waiting for a different opportunity really makes more sense for him there. I've got him at number 9. He's certainly worth contacting and seeing if there's some interest there. LSU's in the national title game. Typically, they have very good defenses. I think this is more of a secondary option for Baylor. Now, if you want to bet on the national title, and you should, it's coming up in, 6 days now? LSU, Clemson, you got to do it at BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet. Current line, 5.5-point favorites are the LSU Tigers. That over-under at 69 points. Should be a fantastic game. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use our promo code CFB120, and you'll get that 120% deposit bonus. It's the best deal out there. Number one sportsbook on the internet. It is BetDSI. Get signed up today at chatsports.com/bet. Next coach here, I've got Josh Heupel, the current head coach at the University of Central Florida. Sure, he's 22-4 in his 2 seasons there. I don't think he's as good as his record indicates. A lot of those are Scott Frost players left behind. I will be very curious to see how the next couple of years go if he stays at UCF. Now, he does have Big 12 and Texas ties from his time at Oklahoma as their offensive coordinator, but they kind of ran him out of town there, and he was a grad from Oklahoma, played at Oklahoma. So that kind of tells you a lot about Josh Heupel. Doing a nice job at UCF, but I don't think he is a 10, 11 win type of coach. I think he's going to fall back down to earth in the next couple of seasons. Luke Fickell, my number 7 candidate to be the next head coach at Baylor. This one's interesting, 26-13, his 3 years at Cincinnati. I think in terms of a guy Baylor should be interested in, I think he should be higher, but I'm not sure this is the job you leave for if you're Luke Fickell. Now, yes, Matt Rhule has left Baylor in a very, very good place, and he should be interested if they call, but he's going to get offers from quality jobs in the near future. He's been in the mix for jobs this year. He's going to continue to be in the mix. He was an interim at Ohio State in recent years, just a few years ago, doing a great job at Cincinnati. More of a Midwest guy. I know we kind of said the same thing when Baylor hired Matt Rhule, as he's got no Texas ties, and that worked out pretty well, so you could certainly try that route again. I've got Luke Fickell as my number 7 candidate to be the next head coach at Baylor. Joe Brady, number 6 here. Look, this guy's just going to keep getting brought up. That's just the bottom line. The way he's helped revamp LSU's offense can't be overstated enough. Now, he's not the play caller at LSU, but his impact is obvious. I think LSU is going to do everything they can to keep him, but at some point, a Power 5 program is going to offer Joe Brady to be their next head coach. Is he ready for that? Is Baylor willing to kind of go a wild card route and hire a guy like Joe Brady as their next head coach? That would certainly change what they've been doing offensively the last couple of years, more of a pro-style offense, which is weird enough in the Big 12 that was effective under Matt Rhule and his coaching staff. But Joe Brady, he's going to be a head coach in the next year or two. I just don't know if Baylor is the right fit for him. We will certainly see. Which team will hire Joe Brady next? I think he's at LSU in 2020. I really do. I think he needs to prove that it's not just Joe Burrow, that his status as an offensive mind is more than just the quarterback they have at LSU. I think he wants to prove that. I think he's going to prove that. So I think he'll be at LSU in 2020. I think 2021 and beyond, everything is on the table. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Sonny Dykes, as we get into our top 5 here, obviously Texas ties, obvious there, as he's the head coach at SMU, connected to Texas Tech, obviously, with his dad as well. Remarkable turnaround at SMU, right? First 10-win season this year since the death penalty SMU suffered in the mid-1980s. Does Baylor want to revert back to an air raid offense? Sure, they do some air raid schemes now, but they're more of a multiple system. Sonny Dykes is a guy who wants to come in and throw the ball 50 times a game. I'm not sure Baylor is built to do that currently with Charlie Brewer as their quarterback. Their backup guys are dual threat type of players as well. They want to be a team that runs the football. You look at Sonny Dykes' coaching career, SMU mentioned, second year there, 15-10 there, won 10 games this year. Certainly a great turnaround. Cal didn't really work out so well. La Tech, 22-15. Overall, I mean, kind of a 500 coach. Now, while it's been a nice fit at SMU, is he just a group of 5 coach? I kind of think he is. I think the interest makes sense. I don't think he will be a top-tier candidate for Baylor. We will have to wait and see. Next guy up here is Blake Anderson, number 4 on my list, head coach at Arkansas State. He's done a great job there. 47-30 record. He's won at least 7 games every single year and has gone to a bowl game every single year. That is a great job for the Arkansas State football program. And he played wide receiver at Baylor in the late 1980s. So I think he's certainly a name that's on their minds and been on that program's mind for a while. He's a young coach who is trending up. I expect him to get Power 5 interest very, very soon. I would be somewhat surprised, unless this is a quick, swift internal hire, if Blake Anderson is not a guy that Baylor calls. Certainly in the near future, he's going to get Power 5 interest. Now, if this is your first time watching Chat Sports or our college football stuff, you should subscribe because we got the latest hot boards, we got the latest rumors, news. We're going to be live for the College Football National Championship game on Monday night, LSU and Clemson for a watch party. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Hit that big red button so you know when we release all of our college football videos. Let's get into the top 3 here. Billy Napier. This is very interesting because the report out is that he is a candidate for this job just days after turning down interest in the Mississippi State job. Keep in mind, Mississippi State's job is still open as well, with Joe Moorhead getting fired in recent days. Won 11 games this year at Louisiana for the Raging Cajuns. First 10-plus win season since Louisiana went Division I in the early 1970s. I mentioned Anderson's a true up-and-comer. This guy's even higher up on my list as far as I'm concerned. Just 40 years old, 11-3 at Louisiana. That is pretty good work there. 2 bowl games in his 2 years there, 18-10 record overall. Billy Napier to Baylor, I think he's certainly a guy that should get some interest from Baylor for this job. I've got him at number 3. Top 2 here, Willie Fritz, the head coach at Tulane, has ties to the area, so this makes some sense here. Older candidate, though. He's 59 years old. Here's the thing about Willie Fritz at Tulane. Do you want to hire an old coach like this? 59. As Tom Downey likes to say, he's what is he, a young 59? Young 59. Did some good things at Georgia Southern, basically bringing that program up in 2014 and 2015. I'm hearing this connection. That's why I've got him at number 2. I don't love the fit with his advanced age at 59 years old. His success is clear. I mean, Georgia Southern and Tulane are not good football programs, and he's above 500 overall at those 2 stops. If I'm a Baylor fan, this hire doesn't excite me. I would much rather go Anderson, much rather go Napier, or much rather just go internally and hire internally from Matt Rhule's staff, like a guy, Joey McGuire, who I've got at number 1. Players apparently love this guy. I'll be honest, and I've watched a ton of Big 12 football over the last 2 decades. I didn't even know who this guy was. Now, when I looked him up, I made sure, I was like, oh, I remember him. He was a powerhouse at the high school level at Cedar Hill. Matt Rhule wanted to hire him when he came down from the East Coast to have a recruiter with Texas ties, and he's done a great job. He was the tight ends coach his first couple of years, got promoted to associate head coach this season. A natural fit would just be promoting him to head coach as kind of a CEO type, kind of like Matt Rhule, and then you hire proper offensive and defensive coordinators, or just keep your current coordinators on staff. Glenn Thomas, Jeff Nixon, keep them on staff to run your offense. Maybe you can keep Phil Snow. If not, you go find another defensive coordinator. Certainly interesting that Baylor could be hiring Joey McGuire. He was just a high school coach 3-4 years ago. Could be the head coach of Baylor sometime this week. Now, I'll ask you guys again, who should Baylor hire as its next head football coach as Matt Rhule leaves for Carolina? Congrats to Matt Rhule. What he did at Baylor is one of, I think, the most undertold stories in college football. He earns his payday. Who should Baylor hire to replace Matt Rhule at Baylor? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section.